I never thought I'd wake up one day and hear the words, "Your birds are a threat to community order." And no, she wasn't talking about pets. She meant actual wild birds. Birds with wings. Birds that live here rent-free. Birds that don't even know what an HOA is. But that didn't stop her, because when you live next to HOA Karen, even nature itself is apparently violating bylaws. It was 7:30 a.m. coffee brewing, sun rising, my backyard birds chirping like a Disney movie, then, wham, violent knocking. Again, like a tax audit with fists. Karen appears at my door, eyes wide with the fury of someone who got 13% battery and no charger. Your backyard is amplifying avian disturbances at a psychologically aggressive volume, and I demand you silence the birds immediately. I stared at her blinking, trying to figure out if this was a prank, or if she truly believed I controlled the birds like Snow White. Karen, they're birds. She stepped closer dramatically. Well, then you need to instruct them to cease their disruptive chirping because their vocal outbursts are shattering my morning serenity. I almost choked on my coffee. Later that afternoon, a letter appears in my mailbox. Violation number 229F. Excessive organic noise from resident-controlled avian sources. Resident-controlled? As if I host daily bird staff meetings, I looked up and saw Karen peeking through her blinds like a lizard looking for heat. She opened her window aggressively and shouted across the neighborhood, "Your backyard is basically an illegal bird nightclub, and I refuse to tolerate this chaos any longer." A bird landed on my fence and chirped. Karen gasped like it committed murder. 3 HOA board members marched toward my house like they were heading into a hostage situation. Clipboards? Check noise meters? Check. Zero common sense? Check, check, check. The HOA president cleared his throat. "We've received a complaint about unauthorized avian gatherings occurring in your backyard." I said, "They're birds." He nodded slowly. "Yes, we are aware of the species involved." Karen popped out of a bush. Again, I swear she lives in them. Tell him about the one with the red chest. That one mocks me." One HOA member scribbled notes furiously like this was a crime documentary. She pulled out a binder. Not a small binder. A 3-inch thick, color-coded binder titled, "Bird Crimes, Documented Incidents of Chirping Terror." She opened to page 1. There were photos of birds zoomed in so close they looked like feathered mugshots. This one right here, serial chirper, offends daily between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. Then she turned another page. This one intimidates me by maintaining direct eye contact. Another page. This one. I know he's the ringleader. The HOA nodded like this was a TED Talk. The HOA whipped out a noise meter and pointed it at a tree. It beeped. The HOA rep gasped. "This reading is above silence." Karen clapped like a villain who just got promoted. "See? Proof. Nature is out of control and he refuses to regulate it." I said, "Sir, you are pointing your noise meter at nature." He nodded. "And it is being extremely uncooperative." Before I tell you how this turned into a full HOA meeting titled Wildlife versus Property Values, make sure you subscribe. Because only here will you witness humans attempting to legally ban nature. Karen went door to door collecting signatures. Her pitch? "Sign here to ban the birds from our neighborhood. They have wings. They can go somewhere else." Most neighbors slammed the door. Some laughed. One guy signed just because he wanted to see how far she'd go. Karen ended up with one signature. Her own. and she used glitter pen like it was the Declaration of Independence. The HOA put bird problem as the first item on the agenda. The board president addressed the room. We are here today to discuss resident complaints regarding unregulated bird activity. Everyone turned to me. Karen stood dramatically, fanning her binder. For months, I have lived under the tyranny of feathered delinquents. Their constant chirping is a direct attack on my peace, my sanity, and my property values. A neighbor rolled his eyes so hard he almost sprained them. I stood and said, Karen, I do not own the birds. She slammed her binder shut like a gavel. Then who does? The room went silent. Someone whispered, God? Someone else whispered, National Geographic? Karen collapsed into her chair like she'd been betrayed by the universe. The HOA drafted a bird deterrent initiative. It included wind chimes, reflective strips, fake owls, a suggestion to speak firmly to the birds. Karen loved it. She actually tried to yell at them. I watched her outside yelling up a tree like a medieval witch. You are hereby ordered to vacate this community immediately. A bird pooped right next to her shoe. She screamed. The birds didn't leave. Obviously. So Karen escalated. She stood in the middle of the street, arms out, screaming, These tiny feathered menaces are waging war on me and no one cares. A bird landed on her mailbox. She fainted. Someone called 911. I wish I was joking. The police arrived. One officer asked, Ma'am, what exactly is the emergency? Karen pointed dramatically. They won't leave. The officer looked at the bird chirped. The officer nodded slowly. That's a bird. Karen sobbed. The HOA eventually realized the inevitable. You can't ban birds. They ended the complaint, closed the case, filed it under. Natural phenomena out of HOA jurisdiction. Karen was furious. So you're telling me the birds won? The HOA rep nodded. Yes, the birds have won. I swear a bird chirped right at that moment like it was celebrating. I installed a new bird feeder. Just to be petty birds flocked to it like a free buffet. Karen looked out her window and screamed internally. Peace restored. Nature undefeated. Karen 0. Birds 10,000. And that, my friends, is how my neighbor tried to legally evict birds. Moral of the story? You can fight your neighbors. You can fight the HOA. But you cannot fight nature. Especially not with a binder and a glitter pen. Like, comment, subscribe. Because next time, Karen tries to ban rain, yes, RAIN. Stay tuned.